we all have created this Cowboys draft niche. I don't feel like there's anybody who does it better than you guys. Add Joe, add a few other guys, but
Add foots, man. Quit being modest with your
nah,
ass.
man, I
You
can't
was the
I
one.
can't tie y'all shoes, man. Nah, it's all love, man. It's all love, Vacho. But you guys are the people who I wanted to get to early, like early philosophy, early ideas.
For sure.
How do we feel about the draft? So,
For sure.
Voch, Jeff, let's roll. Guys, early on, the talk is offensive line,
For sure.
right? And that's the low hanging fruit. Jeff, I'm going to start with you. Are you building your Cowboys board thinking BPA? And this is Jeff. This isn't Will McClay. This isn't Steven. And you can give you can give what they would do. But are you thinking BPA? Are you saying we're not strong enough in the middle and we need to do that? We need to protect our quarterback's eyes. What are we doing, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm thinking BPA because I think what's going to happen is you let other teams. Voch is my hero in this regard when he tells you that there's a bunch of really bad drafting teams. So, like at 24, what you do is you let everybody else screw it up and you see how they screw it up and what that means for you. Because, like the Cowboys, if you're like quarterback, tight end, running back, I ain't picking one of those at 24. The end, right? That's done. But outside of that, yeah, you just let it happen. If it's an offensive lineman, great. If it's a wide receiver, I think you can do that. If it's a linebacker, I think you could do that. Defensive line, corner, safety, sure. I think BPA has worked out great for them. Ain't no reason to screw it up now.
Okay, Voch, I'm gonna go to you. How do you feel? Is it BPA or because everybody says BPA in these press conferences, right, Jeff? But really, they have a position group in mind. Voch, how do you feel? This is Voch. This isn't Will McClay. This is Voch.
For sure. I think when you get to 24 is different than drafting at 10. You know what I mean? Like when you drafting at 10, some egregious shit got to happen. Like we were drafting at like 12 after we traded back. It was really only two guys to pick at 12. It was either Slater or Parsons. That was the only picks that was going to make sense right there. But if you drafting at 24, one of two things are going to happen. Either the board is going to be relatively equal and you can take whoever you want. At that point, you go BPA. But like Brother Jeff just alluded to, I always say teams suck at this. So you can say, oh, Linderbaum won't be there. You can say Dean won't be there. You can say Kyle Hamilton won't be there. Teams suck at drafting.
That's what I want.
Teams
I want chaos.
teams lean into analytics. Teams are gonna take positions you don't need. So you really don't know what's gonna be there. So it's either take the best dude available or the most egregious best dude that's there out of three or so people. I hope that made sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, Voch, let's bring it back around to you. Let's round about this thing.
For
Okay,
sure.
so Voch, corners, receivers, tackles, heavy. Here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm going into this draft before I've even touched a McDuffie, who I was like, wow, look at this guy's tape. I'm like, okay, Stingley is for sure who I've watched since he was a freshman with Joe Burrow, with Jamal Chase on that team. Stingley is for sure my guy. He's CB1. Then Sauce Gardner comes out of nowhere. Then McDuffie comes out of nowhere. Then it's like, okay, then you have these receivers that are flying up boards. And then I always say that quarterbacks get overdrafted. They just do. I right now there's probably one consensus in the top 10. I guarantee by the end of the process there will be three. I just guarantee it. We just watched Mac Jones fly up boards when really I had a third round grade on Mac Jones, a
Mm,
third round grade,
mm,
and he was drafted in the first round and actually was the best out of all the quarterbacks. So
mm.
the point is, when we're sitting at 24 and people tell you that Linderbaum won't be there or N'Kobe Dean won't be there,
Sure.
what do you say to that, Voch?
They can be there. They can 100% be there. You know what I mean? And you can just like I said, man, some of these teams will lean into analytics and the numbers before they look at the film and be like, this dude's a good football player. Like we saw Nick Bolton be a damn good football player.
I'm
I
taking one of my
love
25.
me some Nick, but loved us some Nick Bolton last year.
Second round pick,
Second round dude, you know what I'm saying?
first
JLK,
round grade.
JLK was like a health thing or whatever, but you never know what's gonna happen when these guys like all of your favorite safeties always fall to what I'm saying to day two or whatever. So I mean you really don't know who's gonna be there at 24. Leave it up to and I always shoot at Cowboy fans, right? Like if you name 30 players you like, they're gonna say, oh, they're not gonna be there at 24. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna always say that regardless. Somebody gotta be there. And what I like about this team is that this team can draft. So whoever it is, I feel good about it. So if you want the one techs fall because they one techs. Linebackers fall because they linebackers. Dean can cover his ass off, so good luck. But if somebody love Lloyd a whole bunch and that makes Dean fall and like a run on those tackles happen, those quarterbacks happen, those wide receivers happen like you want to, then you can get guys at 24 that's, top tier as fuck.
Jeff, go. Jeff, go. Do you feel one of our guys, because people are gonna peg their guys. Do you feel that in this draft they could fall?
Which guys are we talking about necessarily? By the way, I want to apologize to anyone watching on my channel because it's cutting the cameras out more than in, and I don't know why, because I'm trying to creatively figure out a way to stream, even though it's Foots' stream, and so I'm doing a window capture, and so everything's jacked up. So I apologize, everybody, and I thank Hurricane Teabag for the super chat asking if you're calling for 3 quarterbacks in the top 10. Who are you talking about sliding?
I'm talking about Linderbaum. I'm talking about Nakobe Dean. Sure. 2 players that fit what Dallas needs.
I would say.
Is it realistic, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost not even worth trying to put a percentage on it because you just don't know. Like, people are going to say that Linderbaum's going to be gone. And Linderbaum's probably the best center prospect I've watched. I've been doing this for, I don't remember, 8 or 9 years. And I think he's the best center prospect that I've watched. But I've already heard people who are talking about, well, his arms are kind of short and, he's 290 instead of 300 pounds and all the nonsense stuff. So, like, generally speaking, the first center off the board goes in the late teens. 24 ain't far from there. You could absolutely have Linderbaum there. Nakobe Dean's 6'2", 225. So Devin Lloyd could definitely go before him. He's 6'3", 235. Like, I want to say it's 50-50 that one of those 2 will be there. And even if they're not, it's fine. It just means that somebody else that I like is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, Jeff, if you just click the window that you're using this on or whatever like browser that you're using, if you just click on that window, then I think our cameras will pop back up in OBS. You probably just can't have too much shit up at one time.
Like maybe because I have my, hold on, let me pull my laptop out, everybody.
Y'all bear
if
with
my
Jeff.
cameras are back on now.
Yeah, we're going to make it work, Jeff. It's all good.
If my cameras are back on now, which I don't know, I just need to use my laptop to view my chat. How about that?
You're good. Or just pop out the chat and have it like minimized somewhere. But go ahead, brother Foots. Just to tap back in with that point that Jeff was making while he's working on the technical side or whatever. Like, there can be a whole list of reasons why a guy's gonna fall down the draft. And what I think is super important this year. Somebody said earlier, Voch Foots, Jeff, are we looking for 10 quarterbacks in the top 10? They ain't got to be in the top 10. Because I don't think these quarterbacks are like consensus good enough that they would go there. If you look at Dane's mock, Dane Brugler's first quarterback went, I think, wherever Washington picking us, that's like 12 or 11, something like that. Like the first quarterback off the board was the Pittsburgh kid going to Washington. So as long as them kids anywhere in front of 24, then guys will get bumped down. And then you just, pray for the best in terms of, we don't need a safety. Let Kyle Hamilton drop, and then, big money.
Super chat on the board, Kyla Gordon, the Washington corner. Really good player. He's going to rise. I like Washington DB. So I got to really dig into Kyle Gordon's tape, but he's a really good player. Thank you for the super chat, homie. Draft community, Voch, the best community. You know that, Voch. Those draft community really, fans, they disappear during this time of the year, and draft community comes out. And even people who don't follow the Cowboys will follow our channel. So you guys make sure you follow these people, Jeff, Heffrey, Cavanaugh, and Voch Lombardi. Guys, I got a few more questions for you all. Okay, so
we're not rushing, Foots. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to hold us for 30 or,
oh no, I got forever, Foots. There's literally no rush here.
Okay.
Like, you don't understand. I'm finally on video on my own channel.
Oh, you lit. Okay.
So yeah, I think I'm on video.
Hey, look, speaking of that, while we're doing that, shouts out to Zach Zimmerman. He dropped 5 in the Super. 5 a super chat. He says, I have a friend named Kalen Barnes going in the draft, cornerback from Baylor. I don't know who he is, but tap back in March, and I have something nice to say about him, hopefully. And we them boys who hate the Cowboys, he's a Cowboys fan though. Drop 5 and says, with Gallup potentially leaving, Amari Cooper being cut, rumors, relax with rumors. Do you take a wide receiver at 24? You can take wide receiver where you want to, honestly.
Don't be afraid to.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with, and disclaimer, it is January 25th. Tonight I'm going to watch 2 or 3 safeties and maybe another corner. I am 15 players in. Like a lot of the dudes in college football I watched play this year, so I have a general idea. The only receivers I've studied are Jamison Williams and John Mechie at Alabama. And if Jamison Williams is there at 24, sure, feel free. Feel free. You know what the wide receiver room looks like right now? It's Amari Cooper, who people are talking about they might want to save money with Amari Cooper and get rid of him. It's Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb sitting in the room staring at each other. That's your receiver room right now. You could take a receiver for sure.
Doing a Spider-Man point, like you get the ball. No,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so party at Jeff's. I just want to say that.
There's no party at Jeff's. Damn it.
I have that on the screen, Jeff, so they want to party with you. Okay, guys, I don't got to rush the great Scoutcast homies. Voch, Lombardi, Jeff, Cavanaugh on. Guys, I want to talk to you guys about tackle, okay?
Offensive or defense?
Offensive tackle.
Okay, cool.
I'm looking to fix this line.
Okay.
And am I wrong for that, Voch? Am I wrong for wanting to fix this line?
I think you should draft line every year, and that's both lines, O-line and D-line, no matter what position. And if you just do that every year, like say you take 8 guys on your game day roster or whatever, if you just take offensive line every day, like every year for 8 years, by the time you get to the end of that list, somebody either not going to be on your team or too old at that point. So just keep taking dudes. We had no idea Travis wasn't going to be playing ball no more. We had no idea that Connor Williams wasn't going to work on his lower body strength or get stronger rather or whatever. And we thought McGovern was going to pan out. Offensive line is so hard to get a hold of, bro. Like we got 3 guys that we feel good about.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. So teams just out here patchworking shit, you know what I mean? Just to make offensive line work. So if you feel like offensive line needs to be a strength of your team, then draft offensive line. The problem with that is that when you're looking for tackle, them dudes that's worth a damn they typically top 10, top 15 dudes.
So let me stop you, Voch.
Go ahead.
Because you are actually my O-line go-to.
Gracias.
Okay. So there's about 5 guys in the first round, Voch. This is a loaded tackle class. Sure. I mean, you got the kid. I was watching the kid Cross today. Mm-hmm. I mean, the kid from Central Michigan, Jeff. I'm like, where are these kids? The kid Penning is a mauler. You talking about a run, block, and tackle, Jeff?
I saw him at
Northern Iowa kid is nasty.
I saw him up at Exos. It's really funny because the one thing I tell everybody about Penning that asked me, I haven't watched his tape yet, but when he runs at a dead sprint, he still looks like he's running inside zone. Like
board drill. That board drill, man.
That's how he runs.
So he has no problem moving people from the film that I've watched, him and Kenyon Green and in the Boston College guard, where I graded them as the highest run blockers, just like body square, never on the ground. They will move you. Voch,
what about NC State?
NC State is nasty. He's nasty, Jeff, but I know he's not in that. He's a top 5 guy. Like maybe top 3. Once everybody gets around to him. But I want to ask you, Voch, when you're grading tackles, because it's kind of like how I view safeties.
Sure.
And I really dig in on those guys. When you're looking at tackles, what are you looking for, Voch? When you're looking at, do they fit what Dallas wants to do? Are they fitting what are you looking at? And even you, Jeff, chime in. What are you looking for in tackle play? Okay, because look at Lyle. Okay, Lyle to me, more of a mauler.
I'm sorry.
Right? Get him on the move when he runs. Pin pull guy.
Leo got feet too.
He got feet, but his feet get iffy at times too, Voch. Got to be real there.
His hands is what gets iffy. But
speed and quickness can beat Lyle Collins, and power is not going to beat Collins. Like, he's right about that, Voch.
Collins, come on, let's be honest.
See what you saying, and like Foots, you're dressing it. And look, somebody in this chat box is gonna run to Twitter and be like, Foots think Collins ain't athletic. Collins got good feet, and Collins has a good kick set. But when he missed with his hands, all the other shit gets messed up. That's what happens with Collins. You know what I mean? That's how he gets beat with speed, lunging and shit. But I just wanted to clean up, but whatever. But I look at offensive line different than I look at everything else because, like, I think that the league is changing when it comes to like evaluating people. Once upon a time, if you didn't have the Calvin Johnson measurements, they didn't really want to rock with you. Nowadays, you look at Deebo Samuel like, okay, cool. What do you do? Like, we're not looking at you like what you don't do. Oh, you're a yak guy. I'm not asking Deebo Samuel to run post corners. I'm gonna get you the ball quick and let you run over people. Offensive line is totally different. I'm starting at whatever my idea of whoever the most perfectest dude is, and then I'm gonna start taking traits away. You know what I mean? So if I'm looking at Ikeem Ekwomu from North Carolina State, I go, boy, you can move to be big as hell. Boy, you strong and aggressive. You just want to explode people every chance you get, but you have no clue what you're doing. So I got to take points from there. Oh, Charles Cross, you have this interesting kick slide where you're slow and methodical and patient and you line things up perfect. But when it goes down, you quick feet, hands, or whatever, and you're probably, more of a technician than Ikeem is, but you're still deficient. Like, you're not as aggressive and nasty and explosive as Ikeem. You look at Evan Neal, who's, got solid athleticism for his size. He's like the balanced of the two guys. You know what I mean? If you look at somebody his size, you probably go, oh, I wish you was a little more powerful looking when you block people like this other dude is, but your feet are good, but you're not as feet good as this dude over here. So I think these top three dudes, I mean, think about where we were a couple years ago with the Wirfs, Wills, Thomas draft. It wasn't a clear consensus.
Great draft, by the way.
Technically, but the Giants team suck at drafting, so they took Thomas first. You know what I mean? Even though I thought Wills was the best guy, Wills went 10th. You know what I mean? So the best guy,
really good player.
Yes, 100%. So the best guy ain't necessarily going to go first or whatever. So just take the best tackle traits and start subtracting. That's how I grade my offensive line, or my tackles rather.
Heffrey, how about yourself?
Yeah, I think the fun part is I think a lot of people that watch us, all of us, do this stuff on their own too, right? Like, it's become such a thing that we'll have a bunch of people in the chat. I know Voch does, I know Foots does, that have opinions on the players, and I think it's glorious. And I think it's important to realize that it's not like you need to know certain words or whatever. If you watch a bunch of football, you can evaluate a player.
Yes,
you might not sound like a NFL scout or whatever, but sure. If I'm watching an offensive lineman, I think there's two things that you're really, well, there's probably three things that you're really looking for. And when you're looking for them, I just type down what I'm thinking when I'm watching them. I want to know, how good are you in pass protection? So what does that have to do with? How athletic are you? How good is your footwork? Are your feet and hands working together? How big is your wingspan? Do you get overpowered when somebody tries to bull rush you? Does he get beat by speed?
You just named a lot of shit to say you only named three things, Jeff.
But it's like, okay, but you're watching, like, a lot of things go into each thing, but what you're looking at is you're looking for how good does he pass protect? How good does he run block, right? Sure. And so within those two things, you just write down what you see. Like, he's good at pass protection because... And then the answer is his feet, his hands. He can anchor. You can't run through him. He's good at run blocking because he can get off the snap. He's flexible. He's agile. He can make a reach block. He can get across a guy. He's overpowering people. And then you also are going to look for, like, does he bust? When teams are running stunts and it's clear that the offensive line ain't supposed to be crossing or whatever, does he ever get lost? Is he late seeing things? Like, so offensive line, that's it. It's pass protection, it's run protection, or run blocking, and is he assignment sound? Does he get lost? Football IQ. And then, yeah, underneath all of that, I could list out a whole bunch of things, but it's just, is he good at run blocking and pass blocking, and why or why not?
Hey, yo, Jeff, so when you watch film and Linderbaum doesn't move people and Kenyon Green does move people, how do you feel when that happens, sir?
He started early, ain't he?
Yeah, no, but Okay, so Linderbaum's one of my favorite players in the class, and he's my favorite center that I've watched because I think he's Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce came into the league at 280 pounds. So is he a freight train? No. But does he sustain blocks? Yes. Is he hyper athletic right after the snap of the ball to get wherever you want him to pull off? Yes, he can reach block anybody. He's great at the second level. He'll never bust. Kenyon Green, the Texas A&M guard, he's 30 pounds heavier and he's bigger in the butt and he can push people better than Linderbaum can. I just think Linderbaum is everything I want in a center. I want him to get 5 or 10 pounds of Voch's NFL peanut butter and get a little bit stronger. But when that happens, he's the perfect player. He has everything else.
And I think also, Jeff, and I think that was, guys, this is what you get from these guys, man. I'm not worthy, But I will say this. I think that Jeff is telling you guys, this is what you need to look for when you're looking at film. Don't just look at the highlights. You want to look at the whole vacuum. And so I think there's something to be said. Go ahead, Rob.
I got a question as we being messy, right? If we're drafting at 24, correct? And Linderbaum could be the better player on your board. We just having conversation. We just talking. If we down to 24,
yes.
Do you take the center or do you take the dude that you feel just as good about, maybe a little less than Linderbaum? I'm talking about Kenyon Green now, but he does multiple things for you.
I'm taking. I've graded. I like Kenyon Green, but Linderbaum was, out of all these guys I've watched, he what Jeff is saying about doing what he's supposed to do. I just like the fact that, first of all, I'm gonna take an Iowa lineman every time.
For sure.
The level of coach, I forget their O-line coach, but the level of coaching that those guys get. Say it again, Jeff.
Are you talking about the Cowboys? Philbin? Joe Philbin?
No, Iowa's O-line coach.
Oh, yeah, whoever he is, that dude's a monster.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
right,
Voch. The technique. Because I think that's where
did y'all see the fullback watching Linderbaum? Did y'all see?
Bro, he's coming through knocking dudes out.
Let's draft that motherfucker. Jeff, did you see the fullback?
No, I didn't. I wasn't looking for the fullback.
I couldn't help it.
Another thing that I like about Iowa is that they're one of the few teams in college that actually gets downhill. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, but no, I personally, because I have seen guys, who Kenyon Green reminds me of? He could be Jonathan Cooper too. Arizona drafted him some years ago, where it's like he had all this potential, but he didn't go to the right situation, and it didn't turn out to be good. So I just think the sure thing would be Linderbaum. Now, this is what I want to ask you guys. When we look at, I want to switch now to linebacker, because my thoughts are this. I want to build this team around 11. Now, it's kind of hard to build a team around a defensive player, but I think, hey, the Ravens did it in Ray Lewis. They drafted Haloti Ngata. They said, hey, we're going to put everything around Ray Lewis to make him great and let him do what he wants to do. Now, Utah linebacker is a monster, okay? Devin Lloyd is crazy, all right? But Nakobe Dean has played at a higher level, at the highest level.
Sure.
When we look at those two players, I'm looking at Dean as a downhill Mike. I'm looking at Lloyd as Joker. There's really no wrong answer, but for your guys' flavor, Jeff, Voch, that complements, now Micah can go do whatever Micah wants to do. He can go do whatever he wants to do, Jeff. Who do you guys like? Because I know you guys have seen both of these players. Who do you guys like?
I like them both a lot. I believe I disagree with most people who I've seen rankings from. I actually prefer Dean. I like Nakobe Dean better because, and don't get me wrong, if you picked either one at 24, I think it would be really nice. Like, to me, Dean is, I'm going to use a lot of superlatives in this draft, I guess. Linderbaum's the best center prospect I've seen. Nakobe Dean is up there with the fastest processors I've ever seen. Like, Nakobe Dean is constantly correcting teammates. When the ball is snapped, he's right and he's moving immediately. He's almost like, I loved Nick Bolton last year. He's like a supercharged Nick Bolton. Like,
Bigger.
like a faster, more explosive Nick Bolton.
Cover.
Yeah, he can cover. He's an incredible blitzer. But that's the thing.
Lloyd covers a little better.
Lloyd can cover, like Lloyd can go man cover a tight end. Like Lloyd's a really good cover guy too. I feel like Lloyd to me might be more in the mold of a Jabril Cox.
Yeah.
Where he is he's a good forward player, he's a good run player, but he's more slippery than explosive. Like Dean's a better athlete. He's faster, he reacts quicker. I prefer Dean, but I like them both.
Okay, that's a good answer.
I agree.
Okay.
Likewise. I think sometimes these way too early mock drafts come out way too early. And sometimes if you just take your time with the player, it'll all just come through. I think when you evaluate linebackers, kind of like what Jeff was saying earlier, if you just like keep it simple with linebackers, you're either gonna be one of two dudes. You're gonna be the dude that don't always see it the best, but you cover ground quickly, or you're like not the quickest dude, but you see it, so your vision gets you there. Dean has both. Dean got both, man. He gets down there and rumbles with the big boys, but he can kind of slip them too. I saw him, I forgot what game it was, but he was like covering the slot. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to mismatch him, trips to one side or whatever. And he just like we not changing formation. We just gonna stay out here. We just gonna do this. And Dean played him cold, hands on the football and everything. So I mean Devin Lloyd's fine. He's a fine player. And if we end up with him, cool. But if Lloyd and Dean was on the board at the same time when we drafted and we don't pick Dean, I'd be upset. So what you have now, and we looking at this from Cowboys' eyes since we're on Foots' show or whatever, you know what I mean? You have to look at it like what you got now, and you talk about building around 11. If you want just 3 fantastic cover linebackers, let them fly. Because Jabril exists already, and we saw how he gets busy when he was in college or whatever. So if you just want to build the bestest covering this, run stopping in this linebacker core in the league, if Dean is there, you better draft his ass.
And you can't forget, sorry, let me just real quick. You can't forget, at least I insist that the team doesn't forget that Micah Parsons is one of the best edge rushers in football. Micah Parsons can play a lot of snaps standing at the edge. He don't got to be a linebacker every snap.
We're not doing the full-time edge thing, Jeff.
We're doing a lot of edge, sir.
Before we do that,
we're going to do plenty of it.
Hey, but you know what? Hey, check this out, guys. So 3 years, I read this the other day, it blew my mind. Dean graduated with an engineering degree. That's crazy in 3 years. So I think what you guys are saying, what happened to Nick Bolden, Jeff? Because I liked him as well. I had a first-round grade on him. He got lost in the he's too little contest,
and he wasn't hyper athletic. Like he was a.
That pisses me off about, because linebacker is a football position. And I'm gonna raise my hand since we're talking draft. There were times that I didn't know how good at react Micah Parsons was. I'm gonna raise my hand.
Agreed.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was on Micah, because I wasn't. I was on Rashawn Slater. Micah made a fool out of me. So there were times where
we weren't wrong, though.
We wasn't wrong.
Rashawn Slater's a baller.
Because that 2019 Micah Parsons film ain't the 2021 Cowboy film. That dude.
Hey, Voch, I knew I wasn't tripping, bro.
That dude.
It was times where he didn't trust his eyes, and I'm looking at Joker, and I'm like, dog. He runs to the ball. He's physical. He's never in bad position. I'm looking at Nick Bolden, and I'm like, he's on a bad Missouri team, and he's doing his job. He's flying downhill, and he's doing the same thing with Kansas City. So. Great answers, guys. Now, this is the one that I don't know if Dallas will do this, but this is Jeff and Voch drafting. So we're not worried about Dallas right now. We're going to have fun. If Jordan Davis is on the board, what are we doing, Cowboys fans? What are we doing, Voch? What are we doing, Jeff? Talk to me. Because I'm looking at a guy, people will tell me he's going to play 24 snaps. Damn it, if he's taking up 2 blocks and he's letting guys run free, sign me up.
I see, Brother Brad. I think something that we gotta realize that this is how draft works. Teams suck.
Sign me up, Voch.
Teams suck at drafting, and weird shit happens. I think you would feel much better about Jordan Davis at your 60 pick than your 24
60
pick.
Voch?
I think by the time you get to 24, because let me say, and I love Jordan Davis, but if he's gonna play first and second down, right? This is my deal. I think at 24, Jordan Davis is going to be there at 24. Just in my mind, just me guessing. I think he'll be there, but I also think another more valuable player is going to be there. And I asked Jeff this last time. Hey, if you had to pick out of Dean and Davis, who do you pick? And it's Dean. And I think you can run down a list of players, this player or Davis. I think you're going to say Dean, because you know what you're getting from Davis. And just dudes like that, they just day two guys. And he might go in the 30 somewhere. That's just something that we can't avoid. We just won too many games to try to get him in the second round, in my personal opinion.
I think, I think there's a chance that Jordan Davis is gone before you pick, and I think there's a chance that he doesn't go in the first round. It's just a matter of what a team's going to do with it. Because Foots, you're not wrong. He would be incredible, especially watching all these teams who are doing a great job of controlling the run without having to commit all the bodies to controlling the run. So now you can play coverage. I mean, look at what gave the Cowboys trouble, right? And so Jordan Davis can help you do that for sure. For me to take Jordan Davis at 24, you would have to tell me Nakobe Dean is gone, Devin Lloyd is gone, Jamison Williams is gone, Tyler Linderbaum's gone, Kenyon Green is gone, Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley are gone, which I think they will be.
My next question, Jeff.
But like, there's a long list of guys that would have to be gone for me to take the run stopper. But like, he's one of those guys where you're like, yeah, 24, I don't know. And then if he's on your team, you're like, well, I'm super glad he's on my team. But 24.
Because you know what? Let's not overthink it. If that dude on your team, that's impact immediately. And Michael Parsons and fucking Jabril Cox gonna be so much better. So let's not get cute here. Let's not get cute. Jordan Davis on your team is fantastic. You know exactly what you're gonna put his big ass next to Osa and Neville, and you just gonna run.
Voch, how about we watched the Bucks carve out a role for what's my guy's name?
Vita Vea?
The blocks.
He's not Vita Vea.
He ain't Vita Vea.
He might be Snacks Harrison.
Because Vita Vea can run fullback and shit. Like, Vita Vea is an athlete. But
okay, guys, my point is, you just watched San Fran zone scheme you to death. This is my thing. Right now, Cowboys fans are really upset. They're arguing about everything. They're mad at Dak. They're mad at Dak's brother. They're mad at Dez Bryant. They're mad at everybody. But the truth of the matter is this. You're going to win the NFC East next year. You need to start drafting for San Fran. You need to start drafting for the Rams. You need to start drafting for those schemes, guys. Let's be honest. We're going to see a downhill running scheme again in the playoffs next year. You're going to win the East. This roster, even if you lose these guys in free agency, you still have better rosters than the Skins, the Giants, and the Eagles.
Football
I don't
team,
care who
sir.
they draft.
Football team, sir.
I'm sorry, Jeff. You know I'm in DC, so it's the Skins. Everything is Skins. But you're right. Football team, sir. The point is this, Jeffrey. I'm thinking, okay, and you brought up a good point about corner. That's going to be interesting. But I'm thinking, hey, Jordan Davis, you have one job. Go eat up two people.
Sure.
Let Micah run to Micah Parsons. You know, I have a buddy. I was texting Voch the other day. I have a buddy, Quinn Cook. And he was at the house with Micah. This is you'll only get this on this channel with us guys. And he was like, everybody was talking about Quinn Cook used to play for Duke. This is one of my good friends. And everybody's talking about Deebo Samuel was just that in the third. And Micah they were talking football. Micah said, man, Deebo, I don't care about that dude. We should have beat them. Like Micah is your guy, Voch. Sure. He is wired the right way, Jeff. If you put Jordan Davis in front of him, and let him run free. If we think about that game, Micah saved that game from being worse. I'm arguing with people on Twitter that telling me Micah didn't affect the game. I'm like, are you crazy? He had, 10 tackles? Are you nuts?
You shouldn't be fussing on Twitter, but
no, there were a ton of run plays there where Micah Parsons made superhuman plays that were like 2-yard gains instead of who knows how far they were. Like that dude's finding his way through traffic, running faster than humans are supposed to run, and tracking down Deebo. That dude, Micah, was everywhere in that game.
Absolutely, Jeff. So if it's me, I'm just thinking like let's think, because again, my philosophy, Foot's philosophy is, hey, let's build this team around 11. So I'll leave you guys with this. I'm not drafting a receiver in the first round. Now that's me.
Hater.
You guys are gonna throw tomatoes at the screen. I'm not. Voch, go ahead. What's the look for, Voch? Talk to me.
No, go. I'm just listening to what you're saying. Foot, go ahead. I'm listening.
Voch, I have a true plan here.
Okay.
I'm gonna make this defense great. Okay. So I'm gonna draft another off-ball linebacker. Okay. I'm gonna at some point get a guard. It doesn't have to be in the first round. You just told me that Linderbaum and some of these guards are gonna fall. Guys, is there another position on the defensive side of the ball that you see that we may look at and say, hey, we may need to look at this if he falls? I just told you guys that Stingley, I had him as a top 5 player prospect.
For sure.
I'm hearing he's not even in top 10s now. I don't know what's going on. You guys talk to me. Is there another position, Jeff? You mentioned corners. Talk to me.
Stingley's a stud. I watched him last night just because I was like, I remember him as a freshman. He was incredible.
Why doesn't anybody like him now, Jeff?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's, are you injury concerned or that he didn't finish 2 different years. I don't know what it is, but he's as sticky a corner as you're going to find in college football. Period. That dude is just so hard to get away from. But Sauce Gardner is a monster too. Cincinnati corner. And this is, again, we're playing a dangerous game when you say they won't be there. I think that good corners go fast, and I'd be shocked if either one was there. So I feel like I need to see more corners to see if there's a name that it's like, hey, at 24, is this your guy? Like McCreary at Auburn. I think Washington's got a dude. There's a bunch of dudes. But I'm only 2 corners in. But you put one of them on the board, hell yes, I'm picking them.
Okay. I like that. Jeff. That's a great answer. Voch.
I think if a good player falls, I think you can use anybody. You know what I mean? Whether it be corners, safety, linebackers, D-line. I mean, you can use everybody. So if you just like the player, just draft him. That's why BPA is so good. You know, we ain't really got glaring needs. I mean, we got some things that we can work on, but nothing that's making you make a decision at 24 or whatever. So yeah, if the right player fall, like if it's a player that you that's higher than 20 on your draft board, I'm talking about the Cowboys draft board, and he's there at 24, then let's boogie. Get the guy, let's move on and be better. Because the best part about it is I like this team so much is that we like drafting wise, like we know how to draft. So if you don't get what you want, if you don't get a corner in the first round, I got confidence they can find a good corner for you in the second or the third. They just done it twice, you know what I'm saying, back to back. So, yeah, I feel good about our day 2 and day 3 drafting. So, you know, round 1, we don't have to overthink it necessarily. You see what I'm saying?
I like what you're saying, Voch, and I think it is one of those things. Right now, I'm overthinking because that's what I do. Sometimes I need to work on that. But at the same time, I like what you're saying because, hey, you have depth at corner right now, but that doesn't mean that you stay away from a guy like Jeff is telling you. If Stingley's staring you in the face, you figure it out everywhere else.
Oh, it's going to be easy to figure it out too, because even if Kelvin Joseph turns out to be a big time hit, it'll just mean that you save $5 million because Anthony Brown is gone, and you're going to play Kelvin Joseph in the slot, and you're going to play Derek Stingley and Trayvon Diggs for the next 3 years together. You're going to have a party. It's going to be great. You're going to love it.
Yeah, and every year we see it happen, right, Jeff? Every year we see guys who, you know, we see the Eagles take Jalen Reagor, you know, over a great receiver. We see like you said, Voch, I love Voch's, you know, teams don't know how to draft. He's the GOAT.
My bad on the Reagor thing too. I liked Reagor a lot. I'm an idiot.
Okay, so Jeff is raising his hand.
Sometimes we screw up.
There's always a guy who, matter of fact, let's end on that note, guys. Let's do that. Who this past draft, who was your guy who you loved, who was an absolute year 1?
Oh, who was?
Well, it's cheating though because we don't get medicals. Like Marvin Wilson's a good player. He's got 2 bum knees. NFL teams want no part of him. And our Darius Washington was tiny and didn't get drafted, but he still made Baltimore's roster and played. So screw you. I'm right about him. He's a baller. So I'm gonna have to think about it.
All my favorite players good, so I mean it don't matter.
All
my favorite players went to the fucking Pro Bowls. It don't matter.
I'll say this. I thought that my Panthers corner would be better, even though he got hurt. Even when he did play,
he was good.
He wasn't bad, Jeff, but the injury. I always say year 1 injuries. You know, year 1 season-ending injuries are tough to come back from because you know that first year. Think about how much Diggs struggled year 1, guys. Diggs, there was people ready to throw Diggs off a bridge last year.
Sure.
You know, I remember the Washington game, you know, Terry McLaurin was running past him. You know, but he came back and he just became, you know, the player that we thought it would be. So, you know, it's still early, but you know, it's one of those things that I guess we all go ahead, Jeff.
I just need to get in my my 1 super chat. I have 1 person who wanted to super chat tonight. Well, two. I had one earlier. 2. Acidic Spinach, which is a great name. Yeah. He wanted to power rank the Bama receivers as draft prospects: Mechie, Jameson Williams, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. So for me, just read that sentence backwards: Waddle, Smith, Jameson Williams, John Mechie. Bow, 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 bow.
That's a good one. Is there any pet cat? Do you guys have any pet pet cats right now.
My pet cat right now is Jake Downing, who dropped 5 in my super chat. Says, Voch, do you think that's PA, I guess, PA will kind of dry up if players went to COVID camp or they reached
What?
the next level of their so okay, there's a lot of words in here, but what he's alluding to is yesterday, and me and Jeff talked about this, so I guess I can bring it to you, Foots. What's better for these players, and do you think moving in the future there'll be more players opting to go to these COVID camps? Because we saw how much guys improved not playing football.
Oh,
So
opt-outs. Okay.
Right. So if you if you're Micah Parsons, what's more beneficial for you, to prepare for Michigan State or to go to this pro football camp that teach you how to be a pro football player, and they map out your deficiencies and they fix them for year one? So guys like him, Tryon, Panay Sewell, guys like Greg Gusto,
Tryon, yes,
later,
good one there,
like,
Voch.
they
Had a
show
great
up
year.
day one relatively ready, some more than others, but like I guess he's just saying like what's better, or will the league let guys come out earlier or opt out earlier to go to these COVID?
Well, there's a reason that guys did it, and you have to have already established your draft stock, which is really hard. But like Parsons had done that. Jamar Chase had done that. Slater and Sewell had done that. You got to be a monster as a freshman or sophomore to make that decision. But yeah, most players would benefit from it. Like Voch, I'm going to take Voch up to Exos one of these days. I was just talking to their DB coach up there about Sauce Gardner, and I've watched him coach up there. Like, you can go to football practice, but they're getting ready to win a game.
Sure.
Like, when you go to these to Exos or APAC or whatever, they're getting you ready to do your job for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yep.
And they don't have a limitation on how much time they can spend with you. And they don't have restrictions. So they're going to get you prepared like monsters. And so, yeah.
By the way, Jeff, Sauce Gardner's tape this year was outstanding. Even the Alabama tape is, flawed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, their other corner's really good, too. Kobe Bryant. I had to look him up because I was like, why didn't Sauce follow Jamison Williams? And it was like, because they think both their corners are really, really good. And I just want to shout out my guy, Clay Mack. He teaches the DBs at Exos, and I just wanted to say hi.
Nice. I actually have a buddy, Jeff, if you're over there. I have a buddy at Exos right now. He's actually declaring for the draft. His name is Rasheed Walker. Probably going to be a 3rd to 5th round pick tackle. Struggled slightly this year. I'm not biased, even though he's my friend. Struggled a little bit, but I think that he can get on somebody's roster and learn. I think the crazy
Exos got some O-linemen, huh? Because I went and saw Big Duke Manyweather. I know he O-line masterminds. He's got a bunch of the O-linemen that I went and saw last week.
If you want to get better at football, Duke is the guy. I follow him on Twitter. He knows his stuff. Like, him and Voch are brothers to me because they know and teach that stuff at a high level, at a high clip.
He's got Penning up there. He's got Evan Neal up there. He's got Cross up there. He's got all sorts of dudes.
That's awesome. And you know the craziest thing, Jeff, and I'll say this. I think the good teams understand that development doesn't stop when you get to the league. Meaning,
CBA doesn't let it happen. The CBA does not let you develop players as much as you like. If you're a player and you're not going to offensive line, Duke or whoever, if you're not doing Clay Mack at Exos, he trains Trayvon Diggs in the offseason. If you are not working with somebody outside of the organization to get better at football, you're going to struggle to get better at football because they just don't have time. They don't have time.
And this is somebody, guys, who, again, Jeff covers this league. He knows what he's talking about. He understands it. And that's why you guys need to follow both of these people. I'm going to end with my pet cat. And while I don't think that Zeke is done, I do want to turn the bucket on and turn it. I want to look at a running back here, guys.
You watching running backs, Foots?
I do. This is somebody that. Okay,
have you seen UT San Antonio guy?
He did. No, I like Hassan Haskins, man.
Okay.
So and I'm not saying early, but I'm saying 4th, 5th, if he's just hanging around. You talking about a physical guy who just gets it done, Voch. I watched him in high school. You talking about, listen, when Michigan beat Ohio State, he flat out took that game over. I look at guys who can play big in big time moments and get better. And I just don't think that we have had a running back who runs with the attitude, who's a bigger body since 19 Zeke. I think that Zeke will always hold a place in my heart. But the truth is he has lost a step. He has picked up a little bit of weight and he's injured. And at some point, you're going to have to start looking at, oh, Voch giving me the look.
But he gonna play anyway. It don't matter how hurt he
Yeah, I
is.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
He's our Jerome Bettis, baby.
Can't nobody tell Zeke what to do. So hey, look, I don't know what you want to draft. What his name is? Hassan who?
Haskins. That's one of the Michigan guys, right?
Yep. It was. I know, Voch, but that's my pet cat. I can't have a pet cat, Voch.
Yeah.
I don't have one yet. I've only watched 15 players. So mine is.
We'll see. Jeff, he was one of my guys that I watched during the year.
Mine's the UTSA running back. His last name is Sincere because I saw him doing backflips at Exos. So he's mine. Philip Tanner's coaching up there. He said he likes him. So there.
Does he?
Kenyon Green is mine.
Yeah, it was him and it was Blake Corum. Blake Corum is from the DMV area. So I just, I like to follow certain guys and I won't say that he's gonna get drafted by Dallas, but you know what I'm saying, Voch. I just like those guys. Like we just got beat by a 5th round back. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So I just like those guys, and I think that the running back position. I don't know if Dallas understands this, but it's a 4-year position. It's not let's be honest, it's not a, Emmitt Smith 10-year deal anymore. Those days are gone.
One last thing though, just for your chat box foots, just in case I haven't sold people on Kenyon Green just yet. I watched a South Carolina game. I want to say it was from like 2020. He was at left guard. Gangster. I watched LSU from 2019. I think that was his freshman campaign. Played right guard. Gangster. Him and Tyler Shelvin got in many wrestling matches. He was a freshman at the time.
He's good right tackle too.
Kent State, he played right tackle. Gangster. But his best film was at left tackle versus Alabama, in my personal opinion. Smoked him cheering over there. So, hey man, look, that's where I stand, bro. That dude, if we can get that dude, let's go run and get that dude. And I know people not excited about offensive line. They don't like it ain't sexy very much, but you should just appreciate offensive line just a little bit more, because what that dude on film is porn. You got to have an ID to watch film on that dude. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Voch just say porn on YouTube. Voch,
porn.
This thing gets taken down. I'm done with you, Voch.
Porn.
Voch.
You gotta be 18. You gotta be 18 or older to watch Kenyon.
Hey Jeff, what is wrong with this dude?
A lot.
Hey guys,
a lot.
You got to pass a drug test to watch that motherfucker.
Where can they find you guys at, man? If you guys are on my channel, I know you guys got your channels going, but where can they find y'all at?
Jeff Cavanaugh on every platform. Twitch, YouTube, JC1053 on Twitter. Time for Jeffrey on Instagram. I need 26 more Instagram followers. Jeff Cavanaugh on Facebook. I need like 407 more Facebook followers so that I can get filthy freaking rich.
On all platforms. I want to get rich too and have a pool like Jeff and a house like Jeff and pool parties like Jeff. So
and Foots is at Cowboys Nation TV. Where else?
Thank you guys.
It should be Foots the King, but he don't listen to me.
It should be.
I gotta get around to it. I'm doing so many things, man. I'm working with kids. I'm just trying to give time back. But you're right, Voch. I'm gonna do it, Voch. I'm gonna do it this offseason. Guys, can we tap in after the Senior Bowl? I know you guys are working, so I don't want to hold up too much time of yours. But can we at least commit to a Senior Bowl recap, because I know these people want to hear it.
Of course, 100%. 100%.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much, chat box. We left on pause. Chat. This was a good session, fellas. Listen, draft season is real, and these two people are the two people that I trust. They're gonna have opinions that I don't always agree with. But guess what? I know that they do the work. So get around people and listen to people who are going to do the work. Voch got in this game doing film. He's a film god. And Jeff is he's a GOAT. He's the great white hope. And I'm going to leave on that note. It's your boy Foots. We out of here.
Peace.
I haven't hit stop on my stream yet. Be cool to everybody. I love you. Eli, thanks for being a member of the channel. Thanks for the super chats. I love everybody.